right, ladies and gentlemen, we have just officially finished night 2 of WrestleMania. I know what y'all want to talk about. We know what you want to talk about, but we've got to pump the brakes on it a little bit. We're going to kind of go through our recap and then we'll talk about it at the end. So please be patient. As anyway, welcome to the special edition of the Wrestling Revival Podcast. I am your humble host, Mr. Cyber Yeti, Mr. Here for the Petty. My neighbors are going to make me be petty, but anyway, we're going to move on from that. Over here to the other side of me, we've got DJ Notorious.
What's good,
How you
everybody?
doing, sir?
I'm doing good tonight, man. Oh, man, listen. What a night.
What a night.
I mean, I want to say it right now because, everybody's rolling in right now to see what the hell happened. Can we just give the result of what happened? We'll tell how it happened. Can we do that? Can we do that for the fans out there?
Okay, we will go ahead and do that for the fans out there, just for you.
Just I gotta do it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
children of all ages.
We officially have a new undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Champion of the world in the form of Cody Rhodes. He has officially finished his story to start the new era for the WWE, the Paul Levesque era of the WWE. We have seen previews over WrestleMania weekend of what that is going to look like. We've seen new camera angles. We've seen drones being used. We've seen new graphics. We've seen new ways of them introducing them. Yes, we did see sponsors, but I think they may have corrected some of their mistakes from night 1 to night 2. Yes. But overall, guys, we have a new undisputed Universal WWE champion in the form of Cody Rhodes. We will talk about the match.
How it happened. Yes.
How it happened. We will talk about that when we get to the match. Yes. But guys, we're going to talk about exactly what everybody's here for. We are going to talk about what happened on night 2 of WrestleMania. So let's go and jump into it because I know some of us are not lucky enough to have tomorrow off. Me, I get to because I'm actually in that direct path of the eclipse tomorrow. So it's actually going to get dark here for a little bit. So
DJ is not that lucky tomorrow. DJ is
no, he's not that lucky. He has to work. I don't. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the match card for the night.
Yes. It all got started with what you see right on your screen right now, the World Heavyweight title match between Seth freaking Rollins. And I brought all the bagpipes with me from New York City all the way up to Philly. That, of course, being Drew McIntyre. Of course, they had the big entrances. I don't know still what the fuck Seth Rollins' entrance was. It looked like a little bit of a remix for Adam Rose and the Rhodes Buds. Seth Rollins style.
It was still great, though. It was
definitely great. Drew McIntyre had all business straight from the start. So the match got started, and within 10 seconds, what'd you have? Claymore. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat. And you're like, wait a minute, they're not going for a record, are they? No. Match continued. Of course, like we told you guys here on the show just this past Wednesday, CM Punk was going to find his way somehow to get into this match. And he did through commentary most of the match. But it literally took, 5 claymores from Drew to finally take out the man who's really been one of the hardest workers in WWE over the past 18 months, that being Seth Rollins. We have a new world champion in the name of Drew McIntyre, or Cyber, or do we?
Now, this is what you would call a series of unfortunate events. Drew McIntyre was kind of on a rip lately where he has been memeing both Seth Rollins and CM Punk, but a little more CM Punk recently. Well, after the match was over, he actually walked over to the commentator table where CM Punk was sitting.
Right.
started talking trash to him.
Uh-huh.
And this escalated, and pretty soon it got to the point to where CM Punk stood up, took off the brace that was on his elbow and his arm, put it on his other hand as to punch Drew McIntyre with it. He started beating the hell out of Drew McIntyre. So it looks like CM Punk is 100% again.
Yes, it does.
But as soon as he was done, we hear Damian Priest music hit.
Yes.
And he is running his ass off to get to the other side of the ring.
He was running like he was running for a New York City train. That's what he was doing.
Exactly. Turns around, turns the corner. Drew is standing up. He clocks him with the briefcase, hands it to the ref, and says, "I am cashing in now." Grabs Drew, throws him into the ring. Once the bell rings, picks him up, does what's his finisher called? South of Heaven, I think.
South of Heaven, yes.
South of Heaven chokeslam. 1, 2, 3. We officially have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Damian Priest. So the Judgment Day sits on top right now with the top men's and women's championship on Raw.
Yes.
So that's what happened. Drew McIntyre held the World Heavyweight Championship for the span of 5 minutes.
I don't even think it was 5 minutes.
I'm trying to be positive for him just because I know he's feeling some type of way. I know his family's feeling some type of way.
Yes, let's talk about that because his family, as you guys, if you didn't see WrestleMania, he did kiss his wife when he did win the match and it was officially over with him holding the belt before the whole CM Punk thing started. But afterwards, more towards the second or third match of the night, it looks like the family members of Drew McIntyre gave WWE and Lincoln Financial Field the finger.
Yes,
And they left early.
John Galloway, which is the brother of Drew McIntyre. This was his tweet that he sent out shortly after he lost. Not staying after that bullshit. I'm going to be there for my brother right now. Thank you for a nice message, but this is bollocks. Good night, Philadelphia. And it shows a picture of them turning around, looking at Lincoln Financial Field and flipping it off.
I mean, it's not the first time we've had people flip off Lincoln Financial Field. I'm a Giants fan. We do that twice a year any goddamn way. So
exactly.
This is what happened. So, but it was really a series of unfortunate events there. But in the end, we're gonna get Drew versus CM Punk probably sometime in the near future. Maybe they hype it up for SummerSlam or even Backlash, which is now in France. But yeah, that's going to be a nice storyline that did not need that belt. Currently, right now, I'm hearing Damian Priest is talking to the media now, the new World Heavyweight Champion. So expect some fireworks come tomorrow night, as usually the biggest Raw of the year is the Raw after Mania. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
New York did it again. Damian Priest, World Champion. So
yes, and congratulations to him. You know what? After cashing in and changing, he really does look the part of being a champion. Let's go to the comments here really quick. Antonio, first one to comment. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love the whole show, but love the main event.
We're not going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about that right now. We'll wait until we get to it.
Yeah.
Good match, but messed up with the cash in.
I don't think so. I think the cash in was, well, if you were listening to us on Wednesday's show, we told you this was going to happen because he's been holding on to that, became Senor Money in the Bank. And come on, Money in the Bank is actually coming up pretty soon. So you needed to do something with it. And that was the
months. The next 2 months.
Next 2 months. So biggest time, biggest stage of them all. Everybody will remember this cash in for a very long time. Shouts to Peter here. He says, Because I'm Peter Shady. My name is Pete Shady.
Oh God.
We
Okay,
know
no.
what he's doing there.
And then Mr. KB Brown here.
Wait.
Congratulations, Cody fans. The story is finished, but here's the question now. That he's champion, what now? The follow-up is just important as the story. Yes, I agree. This is what I think is going to wind up happening. Due to the fact that it's now a new era for
Mhm.
WWE. Triple H said it, Stephanie McMahon said it, even Paul Heyman said it, saying that this is the Paul Levesque era. Having the main champions change was huge.
Very.
If you look at who the current champions are now, look at the undisputed champion is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes became a Paul Levesque guy pretty quick after Vince left. You have Damian Priest, which Damian Priest was actually someone that Paul Levesque recruited from the Indies into NXT, and he came up in the program while he was there. You look at the women's world heavyweight champion, Rhea Ripley, again, a Paul Levesque selection, and Bayley. Bayley was one of the very first women that Triple H selected when they were starting out NXT and they were transitioning it from Florida Championship Wrestling.
Very true.
All the champions are all former kids of Paul Levesque. So what's going to happen with this, we're going to see different storylines. We're going to see different people popping up that we normally did not expect. There's also rumors of people that are going to be debuting Monday. We have Uncle Howdy looking at the possibility of showing up on Monday Night Raw. We have the possibility of what?
We're giving up too much right now.
Okay, well,
Save that for later. We're giving up too
for
much.
later. Okay, but to tell you, there is going to KB. There is going to be a lot of things happening at once. Monday night. Monday night is going to be a very important episode to watch because a lot of things are going to be happening and they're going to be happening very quickly. So
very, very quickly. So this is a
all
Raw
right.
you're going to be watching from start to finish.
Yes, most definitely. Okay, so the second match, sponsored by Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's Gin and Juice. We had the Philadelphia Street Fight between A.O.P and Karrion Kross and Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
AKA the Pride.
The
Now,
Pride.
I just got to say
And
this real
with special
quickly.
guest referee, Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yes, Bubba Ray was there. He found his way into WrestleMania and was the guest referee. I guess just chaperoned the match here. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. They labeled this the Philadelphia Street Fight. I've seen better street fights on Flatbush and Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. Okay? I've seen better fights by the Albee Square Mall. Okay? If you're from Brooklyn, you're around my age range, you know what I'm talking about. This was basically an old to ECW if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
That's what this was. And being honest with you, the wrong team won.
Yeah.
The wrong team won.
Yes. And here's the reason behind that. Montez Ford right now is being slowed down by being in the Street Profits right now. The original thing that both DJ and I were thinking is that AOP and Karrion Kross are going to win, and that was going to make Montez Ford finally snap and go against Angelo Dawkins and Bobby Lashley, because that is what needs to happen. He needs to go off on his own. He needs to Montez Ford needs to flat out pull a Shawn Michaels barbershop on him.
He does. And me and Cyber were both watching live with everybody else. And once we saw how the match was moving, we knew we was not going to get that turn that we are just waiting for, salivating for, with Montez Ford leaving Lashley and Angelo Dawkins. But I'm going to say here right now, and it might be surprising. So hold on to your fitted hats here. I wouldn't even say MVP, but the surprise of this match wasn't Montez Ford with his big WrestleMania moment flipping as he normally does. It wasn't Bobby Lashley. I'm going to tell you, it was B fucking Fab.
Yes.
It was B Fab. Now, we don't know how much she's been training, but we do see whatever training is going on is working. Because she damn near took Scarlett's head off with that kick, and she knows how to use a kendo stick. So I like the development of her.
That backdrop she did with Scarlett into the tables.
Yes.
That was a big deal too, because she was very safe about it, and it actually worked. So I will give her credit, because I never really watched her prior to, most recently, but it's very clear she is improving in her skill level. So hopefully she gets an opportunity to have a couple matches after Mania now, so she can continue to grow and continue to develop. But yes, the wrong team won here. It was an homage to ECW, got the Street Profits to pull off the Dudley's move off the top rope, and all this other stuff. So, I mean, it was an homage to them. I'm going to be honest with you. 2 tears in a bucket, sir. 2 tears in a bucket.
Fuck it. I feel
exactly. Okay, so looking at the comments here really quick, we got KB. I can't believe I'm saying this. Raw and SmackDown this week is must-see TV. I would say more Raw than SmackDown.
Yes,
because everybody's going to be at Raw.
Yes. And it seems like after this Raw, people are going to split their ways and continue on until I'll save that for later as well.
Okay, Antonio, the street fight was entertaining. It had its moments, but also too, after a while, you could tell one, who was going to win, and two, it was more of a nostalgia fight for Bubba Ray Dudley.
It was. So, once again, it's like when, somebody makes it a hot line, they try to make it a hot song. That's what WWE tried to do tonight.
Kind of like DJ Khaled. Another one.
You know what? I'm gonna get to you. That's your mulligan for tonight, sir. Okay, that's your mulligan. You will not be disrespecting DJ Khaled out here.
Okay, and here's another one from KB. Did Gin and Juice really sponsor that match? Yes, they did. But WWE actually gets a pass on this. This is the reason why. Gin and Juice is actually a spirit that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre are actually putting out, and Snoop Dogg was there as a guest commentator for the match. So,
and let me tell you something right now. We probably will never know this. Maybe a docuseries will have to come out. But Mr. Snoop Dogg was either tipsy, highly, under the influence, or all of the above. Because some of the commentary was pretty funny, but you can tell he was definitely in the green room a little bit before this matchup. Read between the lines with that. But in the end, it took Snoop's commentary and a few spots here, B-Fab really showing up and showing out in her parts of the match that made this at least watchable for a second match of the night.
Yes, and I could tell you this too. I mean, it was more of a nostalgia match, and it was kind of meh. I mean, it was okay. So moving on to the next match here. I said last night in the recap when we kind of went over the card for tonight, I said that this could potentially be the dark horse match of the night. Boy, was I wrong. LA Knight ended up winning this match, which I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen to begin with. I think everybody was more disappointed that AJ Styles didn't come out to his old music from TNA.
I was just like, what in the Wish version was this going on? What song was this? That's why he literally, I kid you not, guys, he got little to no reaction from the Philadelphia crowd because they were literally waiting for a certain TNA theme to come up that they know. Like literally nothing.
And I think he would have gotten a better response if he would have come out to his original WWE music than to that.
Yeah. See, let this be a word of advice to up and coming wrestlers. If you're coming out with a new theme song, don't have it come out on the grandest stage of them all.
Mm-mm.
No, because that's when you really want the fans behind you. And that kind of was like an omen to how this match was. Honestly, Cyber, yes, LA Knight, he did get the victory tonight during his match. But honestly, for me, the best part of the night was his custom Air Jordan 12s that he
Yes.
wore during the match. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, this was a glorified Raw match.
Most definitely.
Literally. With
So,
two
I mean, to be honest, there is no reason to stick on this topic any longer. I was kind of disappointed. It was kind of up for me. So, moving on to the next match. Oh boy. Okay, so this match, it you know what, DJ? I'm gonna let you go first on this one. I'm
Well, I tell you guys always, Notorious approve and Notorious we trust. Trust in Notorious. I told you guys since Wednesday what exactly was going to happen here. And it did easily. Great match put on by both of them. Definitely a step up from LA Knight and AJ Styles prior. But like I told you, LA Knight would pin Kevin Owens to get the victory. RKO by Orton on Owens would have won him the match, but quick thinking, Mr. Paul got Randy Orton out the ring, did a frog splash. 1, 2, 3. He is still your United States champion. Yes, he did come out on a big ass truck with some prime. Not a surprise there. But probably the best part of the match, I think Cyber even got a kick out of it, was when his prime buddy tried to go toe to toe with the legend killer himself, Randy Orton. And Randy Orton kicked him like he was a part of 300.
Oh yeah.
He gave the stiffest RKO I've ever seen in my life, where the table didn't even break.
Yep.
So,
And he was out, like out. So yeah, I think his friend learned a very valuable lesson about interfering when he shouldn't be.
definitely not.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Logan Paul won. I mean, what I'm surprised about more than anything is that DJ actually called it exactly who was going to eat the pin. That was a little bit on the surprising side, but it was still a pretty good match. I mean, I was okay with it.
Definitely was. What was good though, and it's something to pay attention to, because something did happen in this match, and maybe it could be a return of something we haven't seen from Randy Orton. Maybe he just got the feeling because he was in a football stadium, but he did attempt that punt that he is so famous for. I would expect for him to have that in his repertoire from now going forward.
I think Happy Go Lucky Orton's about to disappear again.
Yeah, I think that real legend
Him
killer.
hearing voices.
Yeah, he's gonna be punting a lot of people, so I would expect that to be coming back real soon, and maybe he gets some revenge at Backlash.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now moving on to the next match here. The co-main event of the night, Bayley versus Iyo Sky. Now, before you say anything, DJ, I'm gonna say it first.
Go ahead, because I got a lot to say.
Bayley, what were you thinking with your entrance tonight, woman? Your first solo WrestleMania match. I figured you would have put a little bit more thought into your entrance than what you did tonight. I would have much rather seen her come out to her regular stuff than to see this entrance. Now, if you don't know what I mean, check on social media here in about 5-10 minutes, and I'm sure you're going to be able to find it.
Definitely, you will be able to.
It was very rough to see. I was even telling DJ they could have even done like a homage to Triple H. Could have used the same color scheme that she used tonight for her gear, but just done an homage to Triple H. Had those guys around her carrying her on a throne or something, and then done that instead of what was done tonight. That was ridiculous. But
oh man,
go ahead, DJ. I'm sure you want to give your opinion.
No, I mean, like, I got the feeling like I was about to play the Prince of Persia video game. I got that feeling like all you needed was the press start to come up on your screen and you would have started playing. But honestly, it just felt like it wasn't completely done. Like this was something
Mm-mm.
that wasn't thought out weeks in advance, and it seems like it was just pretty much slapped together within the past 24 to 48 hours.
I think
So
so.
I didn't like it. I think for all of this, if it wasn't going to be completely done, she should have just went with her regular entrance. I
Hmm.
know it. We all know what WWE tries to do: give somebody the big entrance, at WrestleMania. But this wasn't it. This definitely was not it. But all in all, you called it the co-main event. Could we really call it the co-main event? Because
I only called it that because it was second to last.
this match here, I can see why it was second to last because it probably was a lot of people's bathroom break. It did not hit like you thought it would leading
Mm-mm.
up to WrestleMania, and that seemed to be a theme tonight. A lot of matches that we thought would be a sleeper or an automatic banger definitely was not. It just seems like Iyo had a couple of slips during the match. Bayley, the crowd wasn't even into it. They were doing their own chants during this match. So
They were doing like the old school Bayley chants, like from
yeah,
NXT days and her hugger days, you know. So I
please don't bring up
mean,
the hugger days again. Please
I,
don't.
I would like not to, but that's exactly what they were doing. Tell me where the lies are.
There's no lies told there, but as you can see in our chat here, and you can definitely join the chat here on X and on YouTube. Let us know how you feel about night number two. Peter says, I mean, Bayley is sexy either way. Yes, we're not talking about
All
how
right, you don't need to get
attractive she
thirsty over
is.
there, Peter.
Right. We know if you want to be thirsty, I do have a Sprite over here for you. But nonetheless, it just didn't hit. Could that be because of the lead up going to it wasn't the greatest? Possibly. Was it
Hmm.
the entrance? I think that had a lot to do with it too. And the match for a women's match, I say this now: the 6-man and Becky and Rhea the night before hit harder than this.
Hmm. It did.
Definitely hit harder. And this is supposed to be for your WWE Women's Championship. Yeah, this was. I gave it a 4 out of 10 just this match alone. It wasn't
Hmm.
definitely did not keep people's interest when you know what was coming next.
Yeah, most definitely. It was it was very below par where I thought it was going to be between Bailey's entrance, the build up, and everything else. I just feel like it underperformed,
Yep,
almost like it wasn't like they hadn't 100% decided on what they were going to do with the match.
yep.
So, I mean, I hope in this new era that we're starting as of tomorrow, I hope that it is better than what we saw with this match. I can tell you this, the first person I could easily see stepping up against Bayley would have to be one of the big current names there in SmackDown. It's going to have to be either Bianca or it's going to have to be Jade Cargill. I mean, those are the two main ones.
I would say probably more Bianca, especially after her performance yesterday in the 6-man tag. I still
Mhm.
think Jade might need a couple of programs, storylines for people that
Nia
don't know the
Jax is going
wordage.
to be the first one. I can pretty much tell you that. We're going to see all these programs starting up Monday.
Monday night, definitely.
Mhm.
So if I had to pick somebody, it would probably be Bianca with that one. But going back here to the chat, we got Peter once again saying, but in all seriousness, as someone who enjoyed the match, it was definitely an odd entrance that felt pretty rushed. Exactly. So
Mhm.
it wasn't just, the Yankee and Astro here that saw that was kind of a rushed move there, but let the lesson be learned. If you don't got
Mhm.
it down before the big stage reveal Thursday, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
Do
do it.
not do it. All it's going to do is hurt you in the end. All right.
Exactly.
So we are officially on to
Hold on a second.
okay.
Let's just talk about this right before we get to the main event. Because I did see a lot of people trying to talk about this today before night two, and now after night two is now done. Every entrance felt rushed. Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't because the
Mm-mm.
main event here that was definitely not rushed. We will talk about that in just a second. What those two entrances were, but you had the entrances of Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, those weren't rushed. You could tell those were definitely thought out weeks
Oh
in
yeah.
advance before they even arrived in Philadelphia for WrestleMania week.
And then obviously Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, both of those were very planned out, very detail oriented. So those were not rushed at all.
Exactly. Those are planned way in
Mhm.
advance, especially Roman's entrance, where, well, let's just get into it. Let's talk about the main event here. We can start with the entrances for both parties. Now, we did say on the show here, we thought that this was the perfect timing for Cody Rhodes to come out with Meek Mill and do Dreams and Nightmares. Well, that didn't
Mhm.
happen. Shout out to Meek Mill, though. You got a nice check from the WWE for doing both nights.
Oh yeah.
Good move for you. A lot of people know Philadelphia now equals Meek Mill. But in the end, pretty much a typical entrance with a mask of sorts. Kind of gave me a Triple H vibe as he came from under the entranceway there. Of course, with Brandy Rhodes on his side to take the mask in. Went into his regular entrance, of course, getting the whoa. So typical Cody Rhodes entrance. It was Roman
Mhm.
Reigns that kind of did something last year, but he had the help of the public school system there in Philadelphia, having the kids, the orchestra of Philadelphia, do his entrance. And DJ loves the kids, so I like it that he had the kids involved
Mhm.
in this entrance, even though I can't stand his guts, wrestling wise. But do like it, giving the ode to the kids there. Those kids right there on stage, they've probably watched it 20 times already, and they will never forget that night where they were on stage at WrestleMania, doing probably the longest running ever Universal Undisputed Champion that will ever be, which is Roman Reigns. And I said
Yeah.
was because if you are just tuning in right now to this recap show, the end of the Roman Empire is here. It is over. Roman Reigns, with some help from the final boss, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, it still wasn't enough because you had The Undertaker, John Cena, Jey Uso, Yeet, and Cody Rhodes is now your
Mhm.
new undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
Yes. And also you forgot one, sir.
Which one did I
Seth
forget, sir?
Seth Rollins also went out in Shield tactical gear with the Shield entrance.
Now, I'm going to tell everybody this right now. And, some people might say, oh, you're reaching here, but two tickets in a bucket. Fuck it. I don't care. Tell me why, when you heard that shield go off, did anyone in here think Dean Ambrose did the unthinkable?
I'll be honest, I really thought it was an outside shot.
I thought so too, because you didn't see anybody appear within the first 3 seconds of that music hitting after they went through the whole name of the shield. So I was like,
Mhm.
wait a minute. I know he did not go back, but then before you can even blink, Roman came from the other side of the screen to the other and just punched the daylights out of Seth Rollins. Like he punched the sonic rings out of him.
Mhm.
So, but that was also good too. But also credit to Seth Rollins. You can tell this man needs a good 6 to 12 months off.
Yes.
And for him, after that first match, to still 2 hours later be in full Shield attire, come through the crowd, and still do his job in that match, kudos to that man right there.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. But this was a good match. You had Roman actually do the crossroads, which was crazy. You had Cody Rhodes do a spear. It was back and forth throughout the whole match. A lot of reversals, some cool reversals as well. But in the end, the Roman Empire is done. So, Cyber, I got to ask you this question. What do you see for Roman Reigns up next? Do you even think he shows up on the Raw after Mania tomorrow night?
I can tell you this. If I started looking at X right after it went off, WrestleMania went off air, and we were getting ready to start our stream. Um, while Cody was celebrating in the ring, they said they didn't see Paul Heyman or Roman Reigns. They were already at the top of the ramp. Paul Heyman gave Roman Reigns a hug and then went to the back. So to be honest, I do not see Roman Reigns coming back. He is he is stepping away. He is going to go to Hollywood with The Rock. And I think we're not going to see him for a while. I think he's going to go and do his own thing for a little bit. Then out of the blue, he'll come back, but it's not going to be within the next 6 months, I don't think.
I mean, personally, I could see that happening as well, but I do think this is now Roman's time for his long needed, long deserved break slash vacation. You know, he could be home with the kids, you know, take them to school on Monday, maybe if he makes it back there in time. But be the, you know, family guy for a little bit, decide on his movie roles. I know The Rock is actually going to start filming his new movie as early as tomorrow morning. So
Mm-hmm.
Roman probably might be tagging along with them to see how it goes. And maybe we might be hearing Roman making his move over to movies pretty soon this year. But I do think we do get him back, I say, as early as SummerSlam to invoke the rematch clause for this. So we actually get Cody, Roman 3. And that would be
It
in Cleveland for SummerSlam.
KB. So Cody called the Avengers. No, actually, it's called, the way that we're looking at it is the locker room got tired of the crap that the Bloodline was pulling.
Because remember, and this is something we should have mentioned before we started talking about this match here, is that this was Bloodline rules. Due to the events of last night's main event with The Rock and Roman winning, this turned into now not just a regular championship match, but with Bloodline rules, aka anything goes. So with that, it does help Roman Reigns, you know, the tribal chief, but it also helps Cody in that way because John Cena, The Undertaker, Seth Rollins, all these guys came out along with Jey Uso, all came out to help and basically not even trying to hurt Roman. They actually just kept the other parties out of it and kept it a one-on-one match. So
Exactly.
that's what they were doing, at least on the side of Cody's
And
Avengers.
and Roman took his eyes off of Cody when he had a chance to take the upper hand with him. Instead, the mind games that Seth played with him
Yes.
for so many years came into play. And instead of hitting Cody Rhodes with the steel chair, he turned around and got Seth Rollins back by hitting him hitting him in his back with a steel chair. So the mind games continued and the distraction did what it was supposed to do. So, I mean, overall, this match was probably, I would say this one would be the best match of night 2. Um
No,
actually, no, he did not.
no. That was the one that did not show up. I mean, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, Cyber, tell me if I'm wrong. It seems like Undertaker took the place of Stone Cold.
I think so.
I think that's what it was there. And it actually fit because, you know, during the time, The Rock and Undertaker were definitely going at it during their prime times in WWE. So it fit perfectly. But it was good to actually see them. You know, Jay taking on Jimmy, both of them going through a table off the stage. That was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Solo then had to meet up with John Cena. Then The Rock met up with Cena. Cena ate a rock bottom, but then the lights went out and it was the Undertaker's turn. He took him for a choke slam. And pretty much after that, the lights went out and you saw nobody after that. It went right back to Cody and Roman with a chair and a belt in the ring. And that pretty much was your coming to conclusion of this match. But great celebration afterwards. Of course, Cody's mom. The one thing I love about Cody, he does care about his mom a lot, and
Mhm.
presenting her with that title. How many decades the family were so close to the title but couldn't get it. Now it just felt like you know, the elephant was off the back of the Rhodes name, and
Mhm.
finally got the title. So congratulations to him. A couple of the superstars did come out to celebrate with him. Sami Zayn included with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens actually helped Seth Rollins back out, you know, to the back because Seth Rollins was really hurt, y'all. Like that's he couldn't even try to hide it for the cameras. He was really, really hurt. But in the
Yeah.
end, we have a new era that is starting tomorrow night on Raw. Everybody knows the Raw after Mania is the most unpredictable night in WWE television. Throw all logic out the window and just enjoy the 3 hours. That's exactly what's going to happen. We know we're going to see Cody. We're going to see Bayley. We're going to see probably Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. We're going to see Iyo Sky. We might even have a reaction from Paul Heyman and or the Tribal Chief. Everything is up for grabs, but it's definitely the Paul Triple H Levesque era right now.
And also, I just want to show y'all this really quick, guys. CM Punk is already starting to jump on the meme train. Yeah, that was his post he made a little after Drew McIntyre lost.
You know something, probably with a little bit of touches to it or whatever, we probably are going to see that up on WWE Shop Price sometime tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I wouldn't be surprised, not one bit. But, okay, Cyber, it comes to that time of the show where not only are we going to give our 1 out of 10 review of night 2, but also of all of WrestleMania weekend. What would you give it? So let's start with night 2. 1 out of 10, Cyber. What do you give night 2?
I can tell you this. Overall, night 2, the only thing that really saved it from getting a lower grade would have to be the main event, just because of everybody who got involved. We saw multiple storyline. We saw a storyline come out of it with Jimmy and Jay. Mm-hmm. We obviously saw, the whole thing with Solo Sikoa because of, costing Cody last year at Mania.
Yes.
And okay, this person's talking privileges are revoked. Whew. No.
Wait a minute. Wait. Okay,
no.
Hold on. I just want to say this here. Are you saying overall for night 2, Antonio, or are you talking just for an entire weekend together, meaning Saturday and Sunday? I'll even let you throw in Stand and Deliver with that too. Is that what you mean? Please let me know so then we can talk about that accordingly. But continue there,
my overall score for night 2. Mm-hmm. I was originally, prior to the main event, I was sitting at about 7.3. But with the main event, with everything that happened, everything that transpired, especially with the Undertaker showing up, which, to be honest, he didn't have to. I think he did it because he wanted to. I think he wanted to do that.
Yes.
Because he has a lot of respect for Cody Rhodes and the Rhodes family. So, of course, if they needed someone to fill in since Stone Cold couldn't be there, then yes, he would have definitely stepped in, especially if it was for Cody. So I would say my score was originally a 7.3. I would say it was more of a 7.9. I'm not going to give it an 8 just because I feel like if Bayley's entrance was a little bit better, I could have given it the 9, but it's a 7. It's a 7.9 for me. So what about for you, DJ? Overall night 2.
For night 2, I'm going to be honest with you. If it wasn't for this main event, we had a glorified Raw on a typical November night. That's basically what this was, with no type of, intrigue to it or anything. A lot of this stuff seemed phoned home in a couple of matches, especially that LA Knight AJ Styles match, which we both thought was going to be a sleeper match. Almost sleep. But I would have to say I give this a 7. I give it a 7, and honestly, it gets that 7 too because listen, the Philadelphia Street Fight sponsored by Gin and Juice. They could have sponsored it by Tabasco, TGI Fridays, Walmart. It didn't matter. That was just horrible trash. I seen a better street fight on the boat last year where everybody was throwing chairs. That was a better street fight than that this was. It really was. Y'all remember that fight on the boat last year. Okay. But overall, I got to give the event a 7. I think there were highlights, but not what we're used to from a WrestleMania. Too many questionable things, too many okay, mid type of thing. So I give it a 7 overall. It had its high points. I'm glad we were walking out of here and people walking out of Philadelphia. Roman lost, so that was the main part. But maybe next year it works out better, and maybe this is this new start to the new regime. So, but I got to give it a 7. I don't know Antonio, I see here you said together a 9.5. I don't know how you thought that. Maybe you played a new version of it on 2K24, but what was shown on WWE Network, I'm sorry, I can't agree with you on that one. Definitely not a 9.5,
Oh,
but it was a 7 with some highlights.
yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree. Now, for overall for the entire weekend, the entire, night 1, night 2, is that your score for the entire show, or is that?
Yes, for the entire show, I have to give it a 7.
Yeah, I'm sitting about the same thing. I'm sitting at the same thing right now. So overall, it's about a 7.8, 7.9 for me. There was a lot of good highlights. The new way that Roxana Perez in NXT is displaying herself and conducting herself with her match, especially with winning the NXT Women's Championship again. That is a big deal. Congratulations to her. Seeing her wrestle, in the Indies down here in Texas, that made seeing her develop as well as she has, is a real big deal. And there's another one going through the developmental system from my backyard at RCW. So, and she's just started in NXT, so that's definitely a big deal. So overall, about a 7.8, 7.9. But again, guys, we're about to hit a master reset here. Starting the Paul Levesque era, starting on Monday. So Monday will probably be the highest rated Raw that people are going to be tuning into. It's the start of the new year for them, so it's definitely going to be a very exciting time. So tune in, enjoy it. I know a lot of us are going to have expectations, but don't be an AEW fan or a WWE fan. Be a wrestling fan for this, for crying out loud.
Hey,
Be a
that's
wrestling fan.
something. That's actually something that I don't know if you guys caught on. If you did not see the pay-per-view, or I'm sorry, the premium live event, which is WrestleMania 40, Michael Cole did mention to say this about 2 or 3 times before they actually cut away and then gave you the graphics of what happened during night 2. He said professional wrestling is back. So no more. I don't think you're going to get the sports entertainment that was under Vince rule. I think now it's going to be more going back to professional wrestling, which has always been a thing for Paul Levesque, aka Triple H. So that's another thing to pay attention to going into the Raw after Mania.
KB, WrestleMania next year is slated to be in Minnesota.
Did they actually even make that official announcement?
I think
And
they're
that's
trying to
something.
finalize everything still. I know
Yeah.
the Vikings did drop something about acknowledging Roman Reigns, but I honestly think they're probably going to wait closer to Backlash. They might announce something then.
Or I'm thinking of anything else because that has been a yearly tradition to let people know where the next WrestleMania is during the current WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold out a little bit of hope that maybe tomorrow night we get that message to let us know to start preparing X amount of days for Minnesota, as it seems like to be the all-time favorite. And then I think the following year is when they're gonna go to Sin City for Las Vegas at the, of course, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. So
Yeah,
definitely
most
just gotta
definitely.
tune in for it tomorrow. Like Cyber was just saying a couple of minutes ago, definitely go into this Raw with an open mind. The Raw after Mania is usually the wildest, the most funniest. The crowd is definitely into it. Thank God it is in Philly. They're going to let them have it. If something goes wrong, this is what you want to see from your Raw, and it pretty much sets you up for the next year of programming. So enjoy it. It's going to be 3 hours of fun. I understand there's a lot of different sporting events also going on that night. NCAA tournament finals going on. Of course, baseball season has started, but we all are here for the Raw after Mania. You definitely don't want to miss it. And definitely tune in to us this coming Wednesday. That's when the show is usually on every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be discussing Raw after Mania. We'll also be discussing what transpired at the Dynamite and Cyber. You heard what I heard. It looks like the shit's about to hit the fan come Wednesday night for Dynamite. Tony Khan
CM
has
Punk, I think, talked himself into a corner during WrestleMania week. And now Tony Khan caught wind and he is ticked off. So that's why we are going to hear from the Young Bucks and we are going to see video footage of what happened between him and Jack Perry. And I can tell you this, if Tony Khan is putting this video out there, I would strongly recommend you better be above board with everything that you said that you did. Because if not, the truth is going to come out once that video hits. And if y'all weren't covering your asses, then you are in trouble.
Something to this. I mean, when somebody gets pushed into a corner and does what he does, I mean, any man was going to stand up for themselves, especially their own company, which I'm sorry. Paul maybe might want to pull CM Punk to the side. WrestleMania week, you choose this now to talk about the competition. That's giving them free publicity all over the weekend. And now look what's happening Wednesday on Dynamite. So we got a lot to discuss. And also, it looks like it looks like one Rhodes now has a title, but the other one is challenging for another. This Wednesday night, it looks like Dustin Rhodes is going to have the opportunity to go after the AEW World Championship against Samoa Joe. So maybe, just maybe, at the end of Wednesday night, when you tune in here for the Wrestling Revival podcast, we're talking about the Rhodes family controlling heavyweight titles in two separate promotions. So definitely look out for that this coming Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and X. So make sure you follow us on social media, the Wrestling Revival Podcast on IG, on X, of course, yes, Elon Musk, TWRP_official, and for TikTok, yes, on TikTok as well, TWRP_official_. Make sure you're following on all of those, including YouTube, where you will be notified of everything going on here with the Wrestling Revival Podcast. There's a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of months that you do not want to miss. We can't talk about it right now, but when we do, you will want to be the first to know.
Exactly. And guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We will be on again this coming up Wednesday. We like DJ was mentioning, we will be reviewing the Raw after Mania. Will there be any surprise debuts? We'll see new storylines. We'll see new everything. So this is going to be a very big deal. So I'm very excited about it. So we will be covering that. We'll also be covering Dynamite. We'll see what happens in regards to this video being dropped. Looking at the comment here from Aaron King, this is extremely boneheaded move on TK's part. Like I said, if he's not above board and what he said happened is really not what happened, then yes, Tony Khan is going to make himself look bad.
But see, here's the thing, guys. You got to remember, any man that literally says, let's go to the videotape, that's somebody you don't want to go against. That's what I would say when you have receipts. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And let's see what happens this upcoming week. One of the biggest weeks in wrestling, the Raw after Mania, AEW Dynamite. Who joins WWE? Who makes the big debuts? What's going to happen? Tune into all that right here with the Wrestling Revival Podcast. But myself and Cyber Yeti, we're going to call it quits. It's been a long weekend for us.
Yes.
We're definitely going to catch up on some rest because it's been a very long weekend for us, but we're giving you all the information here. So we definitely appreciate it. And that is the show for tonight. So, Cyber, any last words?
Thank you so much, guys. We will see you on Wednesday. And hey, go into Monday night with an open mind, guys. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Take care.